I start my day at 3 a.m. I went through school and it just wasn't positive for me. I don't recall enjoying it. And then I discovered business. Everybody at school wants gum, and no one has gum. If I sold everyone gum, I could make some money. My whole brain works, find a problem, there's 4 steps. Find a problem, solve the problem, sell the solution, nail it and scale it. So when I'm like 14, 13, I'm selling gum in quantities. I'm going to Sam's in bulk. And then the principal calls me and says, Mr. Clark to the principal's office, Mr. Clark to the, I'm like, what is going on? Sir, Clay, are you selling gum? I go, I am selling gum. You said you can't sell gum. I said, okay, I'll stop. Then I found out people wanted cassette tapes. Remember Milli Vanilli, Paula Abdul? Everybody wanted, it's like, straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? And people always wanted that Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the rain that was falling. And then we had tapes, cassette tapes. So I bought a cassette. I'm like a 13-year-old kid. I'm high-speed dubbing tapes. Oh, you got the tape? I got the tape, so I gave you the tape. I'm not selling drugs, but it's kind of like a drug thing, because it's illegal tape. So I'm giving you tape. $15, and I'm buying more tapes. I got this black market candy and music career going on. And then when I went to the worst event of my entire life was the Students Against Drunk Driving. The people planning Students Against Drunk Driving were drinking vodka during their water bottles and in class. So I put my hand up, I said, Miss Page, I think that DJ was terrible. She says, well, why? I said, you can't play Cotton Eye Joe after Regulate. That's why no one's dancing. The guy's horrible, and he's like in his 50s, and he's a chain smoker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next, our next song, it's gonna be an incredible hot song. It's called Regulate. And he goes and smokes. That kid gets ridiculous. Anybody could do better. So she says, well, if you can do better, then you do it yourself. And I said, I will. We've never had more than 300 kids attend a dance, approximately. For every student that comes after 300, can I keep the door? I'll take care of the food, I'll take care of the beverages. I just want $5 per person that comes in after 300 and all the food and beverage. She says, it's on, Mr. Clark. I go, oh, it's on. So I'm passing out flyers, and I didn't know you couldn't invite other schools to your school dance. The night of the event happened, the people show up, and there's maybe 1,000 kids, where there should be like 300 kids, and they're not from our school. And the energy is epic now. So people are crowd surfing, and I'm making crazy amounts of money. And I'm gonna make $5,000 tonight. The crowd surfing was out of control, and the principal asked me to stop, and I said no. And I asked the crowd, do you want to stop? And they said no. I said, do you want to stop? No. Do you want to fight for your right to party? And then the principal kicked me out. I met Vanessa when I was going to Oral Roberts University. She was a cheerleader, and I thought she was super attractive, and she's super smart. And so even to this day, she'll say stuff, and I'm going, oh, I should write that down. So I feel like I'm kind of married to like an attractive Yoda.
He's allowed it in his grace and goodness and mercy, right? Because he has a plan for goodness. And so I get so excited about everything.
She does.
I do, that God is doing right now. We had our first business, DJ Connection, which was a mobile entertainment company, and we grew that to be doing 80 events a weekend. It was crazy. We ended up selling that, and we started something called Make Your Life Epic, and that's what Clay does, is coaches people in their businesses and helps them grow their businesses.
He sees patterns like no one I've ever met in my life. I remember he kept telling me things I needed to do, and I kept going, you don't understand my business very well. Like, you may understand other businesses, because I know you coach a lot of successful companies, but you don't understand the business we do. What I later found out is that every business owner he coaches tells him that in the first 3 months. After a little while, finally, things were kind of rough that I was dealing with, and I went back to him and I was like, what was that you told me to do again? Things just took off from that point.
I achieved a certain level of success, and people kept asking me if I could coach them or teach them how to build a scalable business. I said yes to 160 clients.
One of the greatest parts about Clay is he's not just a guy that builds your website, but he coaches you. He's the only one I've seen with his level of expertise. Clay and I sit at his desk 1 month ago, and he put together a video just for my Facebook marketing himself.
And that was just his focus, is helping his clients, helping them grow their businesses. That's 100% of his locked and loaded focus.
So I'm working with clients on a one-on-one basis, and then it occurred to me that I didn't want to grow beyond that point. When someone says, hey, can I pick your brain and could you teach me how to grow a company? I thought, well, what if I could record a show? That way I could say, yes, I could say, I can't sit down with you personally, but I could say, you could listen to my show about how to build a workflow, or my show about how to do accounting, or my show about how to do branding or sales or marketing.
We have the incredible opportunity to interview this celebrity chef, Mr. Wolfgang Puck. She is now on the Thrive Time show. Gretchen Rubin, 24-year NBA coach. Paul Press, exclusive interview with Lee Cockerell. Basketball player David Robinson. On today's show, entrepreneur Seth Godin.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're going to be breaking down what Robert Kiyosaki has recently been talking about. Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author, the New York Times best-selling author and real estate investment guru, has recently been talking more and more about acta non verba. You say, what's acta non verba? Well, one, it's Latin, so don't get too concerned there, but it's acta. Again, this acta non verba. What it means is action. You need to watch what people do and not what they say.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there, too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much. And thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
We have a little bit of news for you guys. It's now what, May 31st at 6:21. You've been closed for 20 minutes?
Right.
No, it's now June, so let's run the numbers for May. Let's see what he's got.
Totals 102,837.
What's last year to date? 102,837 this year?
And last year was 60,667. Whoa! Coming out of the weeds now.
Boom, baby.
Boom! Out of the weeds, onto the pavement.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
What does that mean? Because we're going to share with you some stories today of an accountant who grew a business from $3 million to $20+ million, of a home builder who grew a business from $15 million to $150 million, of a dog trainer that was able to scale his business from a stagnant business to 15+ locations, to grow the business that was perpetually stuck at 400,000-ish, grow that into $1 million+ annual revenue.
This year's sales for this week.
So this is the same week last year. Do you see the difference? Look.
What is that? I can't really tell. One is
Look.
Michael, can we just I just want to get it. Jason, can you kind of pull this end maybe, just so you can see it? Let's kind of pull it that way. Let's get the length. That's more of a. I can't tell that the length. It's hard to tell.
Look at that. Okay.
So that was last year's sales.
This is last year's sales. And the total is a mere $4,711.73. Same week this year, 2015. The total is, read it, Michael.
$11,313.50.
Oh, boom! There it is.
What?
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But money's just a tool. Money's like a hammer, money's like a tire, money's like a sock, money's like a car. You could use a car for bad things, you could use a hammer for bad things. A lot of people could, you could kill someone with a hammer. You could kill somebody with a sock, I guess, if you wanted to. You could kill someone with a tire if you wanted to. But I mean, there's a lot of creative thoughts going through people's minds right now. But the thing is that money is just a magnifier. In the 1 Timothy chapter 6:10 reads, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and have pierced themselves through with many sorrows." And so what happens is that money is a magnifier. And so if you're somebody who's greedy and nefarious and will throw somebody under the bus to make an extra dollar, money's going to allow you to be more of a greedy personality type that will throw somebody under the bus for $1. That's what money will allow you to do.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and our ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously, the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing, and Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.